All right, so I'm live right now. I don't know. I don't do much of this or anything. I started another page which I have not uploaded yet, pertaining to my complete spinal fusion. Ended up in a wheelchair anyway. Long story short, so I am. I was about to go to bed and I just saw this thing on my feed that came in that why farmers are fighting for USDA loan forgiveness, right? So I say I like to read things and I always go and read things. So I was reading and actually I keep looking over here on my phone because I don't want to misspeak or what have you. So I read that the farmers were upset, which I didn't even know this was a thing, that the government was giving loans or what have you to farmers of African American descent and what have you. So they're trying to take it to court or whatever. So I guess the white farmers were excluded or something like that. And I keep looking over there. Let me just look over here. I'm sorry. I know, as you could tell, I'm not this blogger. I'm not trying to. But my thing is, after I read it, so the white farmers were actually upset that they couldn't get the funds or what have you. Um, and it just took me for a loop after I read the story because they were upset that it was pertaining to a whole racial, you know, and they're saying they have their farms for, 40, 50 years, whatever, whatever. Um, Do you know that African Americans had just recently got like, not even, we still in the Constitution, if you read it, we're still not noticed as people, as human beings. We're noticed as animals. We have no part in the Constitution. We have no nothing. Okay. So I just want to break it down. I'm not like I want to break it down to whereas do you remember the redlining? Where you know, these black men fought right beside the white men and came home and the white men got to get the loans for the house and all of this, but we couldn't. Well, not me personally, but a black man couldn't. So I was just wondering, where was the outrage about that? I haven't seen any outrage of that. I haven't heard about any outrage about that in years. But I'm just noticing that the outrage is like, what? You're giving it to them instead of us? Where was the outrage when men that fought right next to my uncles, my grandfathers, that came home and had to go live in the slums and they redlined the whole area. The map still exists actually. And make it so funny that I just went through a real estate course because after years of nursing or what have you, I can't do my nursing no more. And I went through these classes and I didn't even realize all of the stuff that just got put into play. Um, 1968, there was still redlining going on. My husband is actually 50 and was born in 1970, and his birth certificate still says Negro. Yeah. So we're going on this whole critical race theory. We're doing all of that. I'm just saying, like, I worked in the nursing field for 23 years, right? And I love everybody regardless. That's your stupidity if you just look at my color and don't love me. It is what it is. Um, but I went through taking care of Caucasian folks, being spit on, call nigger girl and all of that, where none of these Caucasians were going to take care of their family. See, we as an African American community don't put our family members in nursing homes and things like that. So maybe that's why we go through so much poverty and all of that, because we'll pile a whole bunch of us and make sure grandma got to get her medicine. When everybody's switching out, everybody working and everybody doing this, and we buying depends and we doing all of that. But from what I've seen for my 23 years, I literally had a guy say that I can't use names, but it's a prominent name store you guys probably shopped at. Said his mom couldn't call him. And I'm like, what? Every day she wakes up asking. Lord, I mean, I know I'm going off topic, but I want to have some dialogue on this, because right now I hear so much of the complaints. Where were the complaints back then? And no, I'm not, I could care less. We all bleed the same color at the end of the day. And doing nursing, baby, trust me, we all bleed the same color. I've walked into so many situations. No, she can't touch me. That nigger can't touch me. Well, sir, she's the head of this. Why are you want to let her touch you? That's how the mentals. And if you read whoever wrote the dictionary, nigger per se is somebody that's ignorant. Far from ignorant. I got the education and I got the skills. And why do we get looked at as nothing? Before you got to meet the person, I still on my street right now today, I live in Florida. I'm the only African American out on my street. I got videos and everything. It is you niggers and da da da, like literally, because they don't believe I should be here in this house on their street. So it's not over. And so all this fighting of the critical race theory and all of that, hello, you guys are raising, excuse me, I'm not talking to everybody. I'm talking to the ones that will see this video, and you're raising your kids to not even know to just love a person. See, we're not going to be here forever. And our kids are going to have to go out there and, eventually work, fend for themselves, and learn how to deal with people in society. So if you're teaching your child in your kitchen, in your living room, those don't mess with those um that's crazy. Because when they get out there in that world, that's not, no. One of us might be their best friend that will save them from some BS or save their lives. I've seen so many videos. I just watched a video where the father put salt and pepper in a plate, in a paper plate. And he said, try to separate us, because, once we're all together, like, so I watch all these videos and I watch all of these things where, see, you're not born with hate. You only use what you're taught. So in all my years and all of that, I've dealt with so many people. Man, I had clients from, the porch in Mississippi and Alabama, where was the name. And I said, he just loved me. He said, you're so beautiful and you're so. And we was watching a show one day while I was taking care of him. And he said, yes. And I was like, oh, baby, you want me to change the channel? He said, no, it's okay. And so, he was dealing with Alzheimer's or whatever, early onset, but he still had it in him. His face got so angry, but he didn't look at me like that because I take care of him every day. So, how do you decipher? And I don't know. This whole critical race theory thing where they put a name on it. What I want to say is tell the truth. That's all. Just tell the truth. I just want people to be able to tell the truth. If you weren't raised with that in your kitchen, I look at so many um interracial relationships and the kids, and they're beautiful. They got my hair, well, I cut mine, but you know, and I look at how many family members have shunned them, I guess I want to say that's the word from back in the day. Uh like don't deal with them because they stepped outside of the box. What is the difference? What do you mean? Why would you be so more inferior than just love that person, see a person? Yeah, there are a lot of criminals out there. There are a lot of people that do the wrong thing. There's liars, there's cheats, but there's a lot on every side. So why is it that my face, see, I like all my friends are Caucasian. They're Caucasian. And I'm still like, I can give you the lips. I'm on this live, so I can't talk the way I want to talk. But if you met me and knew me, you would know I speak from my heart. Um, I don't think you would classify me as ghetto, but I grew up in the projects and did. My kids have never grew up in the projects because but my mom worked and damn near raised the whole projects. Um, so you can't pool everybody in one little bowl. You can't pull everybody in one bowl. And what's happening in the world today is the left, it's the right, it's the this. No, where did that come from? I thought we was done with that. I ain't came over on no boat. I didn't come over on no chains or nothing like that. Cause I'm gonna tell you right now, they probably would have hung my black ass first at 2. The things that go on. There's a lot of movies and things like that to where you could see, and then people still, oh no, that's not a problem. We don't do that. We're not. No, this thing still exists. In 2021, it still exists. I deal with it on my street. I deal with it. I got cameras all around my house. My house is fenced in. I'm on my patio right now. Like I literally, the man I've never met still to this day was yelling, niggers. Excuse me, I don't like to use that word. Come outside, you niggers. Like literally. Why? And I don't bother you. I don't go on your street. You live on a whole nother street. I'm just, there is something that in the pit of people's stomach. It's because of what you were raised and what you was taught. So now with the critical race theory, see, Caucasian Americans were taught that African Americans are not people. It's written in the Constitution. Please read it. We were not considered as a person. So them rules and laws didn't apply like they applied for you. We were not considered. We were considered animals. We were not considered like any of that. None of that. So it was okay for me at 46 years old to be taught that in school, that Christopher Columbus discovered America, all of this, right? So right now, today, They're trying to pull out every part of what they didn't teach us in the first place, the truth. They're trying to pull out like every part of that. And there's laws being passed right here in the state of Florida where I live at. Ron DeSantis, yes. You're trying to pull out all of that. So why wouldn't you, when, okay, let me break it down like this. Okay. So we pull out critical race theory in schools and all of that, right? Okay. I don't teach my son. I teach my son that if he's ever stopped by a cop, my son's 11. I got 11 and an 8-year-old. If he's ever, just please put your hands up and say, please call my mom. Don't make no sudden moves, no none of that. I don't think you guys have to tell your kids that. I tell my son that. Just ride his bike, ride his dirt bike, right now. It's not stolen. He doesn't go anywhere, like, yeah. So I still have to teach my child at 11 and 8 those things. I don't think you're teaching your kids that. So let's just all be on the same page, right? So take out critical race theory. So then you got my 11-year-old and your 11-year-old. We live in a nice neighborhood, no doubt. We live in Port Richey, a nice neighborhood. There's no projects. We live in a house. They got pool, trampoline, they got basketball, they got. So if my son and the kid across the street were hanging out, maybe somebody a half an hour, 45 minutes before then called the cops and said there is some black kid on some dirt bike or whatever. They don't got no dirt bike, but it's one of those gas powered thingamajigs, right? It's a 100cc thing, something. So, and hey, just happened to be when the cops finally show up, my son and maybe your son is together riding. Remember, the report said black kid. They're going to stop my son. They're not going to stop your son because they said black kid, right? Your son's, because that's my son's friend, he's going to be there for him. Like, what are you doing? We just was riding. No, they're going to tell my son to shut up, get off that bike, sit his ass on the ground, put his hands behind his back, cuff him until they figure it out. They're never going to just ask him, hey, where are you coming from? Where'd you get that bike from? Because they're not going to ask your son. They're not going to. So now my son knows to do this. While his best friend, which could be your son, Caucasian, be like, hey, what are you doing to my friend? We just came riding from here. We didn't steal this. We ride these every day. We had these for like a year, Mind your business. And my son either going to have his face in the dirt or nothing until they figure it out. Meanwhile, the culprit, not the 11-year-old, probably some 25-year-old or whatever it is, but my son's face is in the dirt. While your son is standing there watching it. But your son just telling him, hey, that's my friend. We've been riding these. They're not going to listen to that. First, my son has to be treated like a dog. Later, for what his Caucasian friend is telling him, I want to slam you down in the dirt, put you on your face at 11 or so, being about the same height. I think he stands around 5'3". So you're talking an 11-year-old, like I said. But they're not going to ask no questions. With your son saying that, that's not him. They don't care about that. That's not it. So after they figure out and somebody done caught that kid down 2 miles or whatever down the road, now they let my son up out the dirt, never apologize, uncuff him. My son is traumatized and all of that. So now let's flip the script. They gotta call about 2 Caucasian people that are just stole a dirt bike or whatever. They're gonna ride up to them and say, hey, that yours? Yeah, where y'all been at today? They're gonna tell them we just riding around the park. Okay. They get to go. Not near one of them is getting slammed down in the dirt. They're not getting their face. Once one person stands up for him, it's they're not going to take it any further. They don't got to sit down on a curb like a dog. They don't got to be, slammed on their face in the dirt and then don't apologize and say, just understand what I'm saying. I got a report. Yeah, like it's so much stuff. And everybody always, I see a lot, I watch a lot of posts where they say, oh, everybody wants to turn everything racial. I want to ask you personally. My sons are 11 and 8. I have been having this conversation with them since they can talk. If we're outside, if we're, whatever. I mean, not since they could talk. I want to say about 5 years old, where they can understand what's going on. So if we're at the park, and maybe I need to take one of them to the bathroom and the other one gets to play in the park with my oldest daughter. Not that I leave my kids alone. There's always, but I want to tell the male child, just put your hands up. Don't make no sudden moves. I mean, I've got pulled over before. In my daughter's Jaguar, actually, she bought at 18. Hey, you know, she worked her butt off and still got her own house, got her. Yeah, I got pulled over in her Jaguar. Excuse me, ma'am, where you go? Sir, can I help you? Why'd you pull me over? Your lights weren't on while it's raining. There's daytime running lights. I got daytime. My daughter had a Jag and I got a 2002 Chevy Suburban. Daytime running lights came then. Yeah, okay, sir. Here, you know. So where you going today? It's what? Why did you pull me over? See me, I know, but my kids don't know, and that's the scary part. But you do not wake up as a Caucasian person fearing for your kid's life. Maybe if you were raised crazily, you're fearing for them being around my color. But I hope not. I hope not. I hope they have friends and stuff like that. My point is, I just read that whole thing because mind you, my student loans, they can't get dismissed because they told me they was before 2010 and they're not through the Department of Education. I went to school in 98, 99, and whatever. So it is what it is. So I don't get that little blessing either. Nope, I don't. Because I guess before 2010, you do apply through the Department of Education, but then they go off to somebody else. But in 2010, the government, So anywho, so I don't get them blessings, okay? I want some people to chime in. I want to hear like what you think. Like it started, and I don't want to word it wrong. I swear I'm gonna read it right again while I'm right here. That it says the man filed a lawsuit because that and eligibility for loan forgiveness on the basis of characteristic race. It said minority farmers are automatically entitled to a payment of 120% of their farm loans, with white farmers are excluded. Okay, because in all actuality, if you do your math, I don't know if you heard of why we continuously want 40 acres and a mule. Do you know I found some things from my grandmother? Anyway, I'm going off kilter. But do you know we had our own land that we slaved? Not me personally. I'm when I say we, I mean African Americans. We actually worked for it, and then you watch the movies. We was able to get our own little hut, and then the farmland we could work and such and such and such, and we worked it off and end up having our own. Well, hello. That all got taken back. After it all got taken back. Okay. I don't live by the theory that, oh God, the white man holding me down and da 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 da. No, I don't live by that theory at all. I had 2 jobs since I was 14. My mother told me nothing is for free. You gotta work for it. And Just work hard. You can do everything a man can do except for make a baby, but you can do all of that. So that's been my thing, and that's how I raise my kids. But the thing is, I go to school, I do all of that. I still got caught, nigger girl, with degrees. Still got spit on with a degree. Still got, so what? I mean, where do you win? Where do you become that equal part? I I'm just, I want to talk to people like for real. I understand you was raised a certain way, but I want us to get on the same page that it's not taught. If you feel, I don't mind if you don't like African Americans, but I need you to tell me why. And I can't let you base it on, well, I had this one time, this person did something. That means the whole race? Nah. Because then we still got Jeffrey Dahmer and all of them too. So tell me how. I don't look at a Caucasian person like they're gonna eat me or kill me. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't think you're gonna blow up the school. I don't, you know. So I don't know. I just wanna know. Hey, comment or what have you. I mean, I got so much more to say, but I'm gonna have me another glass of wine at the end of the day. Um, Me having my background and my credentials and what I have. So I'm not, you know, I guess you're typical that you say some ghetto whatever, and I don't know what you call it because I came from the ghetto. I was raised in the projects, but my mother worked every day, raised all five of us, worked every day as a nurse, worked every day. So yes, I came from there. So what does that mean? And then let's talk about how we end up living there and how we still lived there, but actually moved to my grandmother's house to take care of her when I was 7 and 8. That's how I knew I wanted to be a nurse because my mom didn't want her to die alone in hospice. So I mean, I want to have an open dialogue. I'm pretty sure I'll get some nasty comments. I'll get some, you know, so and I'm willing to like talk to somebody one on one too. So whereas you could break down to me because I kind of only gave you the surface and a little synopsis. So we can go back and forth or whatever, but no argument, no nothing. See, because I love when my feet hit the floor in the morning. If you don't love that, there's something wrong with you. If my feet don't hit the floor in the morning, that means I ain't got life in me no more. See, I woke up this morning and I pray wake up in the morning. Some of us don't get that. We've been there. I don't have mother, father, sister, husband, everybody. Feet didn't hit the floor one morning, okay? So I just want to know how you value your life when you get up in the morning. I want to live mine to the fullest. And that means like just doing for other people. Like that's so crazy. And I don't think about me. But I need to start doing that. Um, I don't know. And I named this the conversation about the hill, but maybe I'll change it and then I'll add my other story I started talking about. Like I'm not so much of this like blogger thing, but like certain situations I want to talk about. And I don't, my kids, I started late, so my kids are younger. Um, but I want to get other people's opinion. I wanted to have somebody else's opinion on where I'm at and what I'm thinking. Whatever comments you give, I'm not the nastiness or whatever. It doesn't matter. You can put it because that shows who you are. I literally just asked the question: how do you end up feeling that way if you are that way? Because if you sat down with me across the table, I don't think you would see my color. You would just be like, oh my gosh, she's so sweet. She's so genuine. She like. So how do you pull and just get so nasty? You know, and that's for my people too. Cause I was able to, they tell me for years, you better than me. After I spit on and called girl and stuff, the in girl and all of that while I'm taking care of them. How do you do it? I said, because it's not their fault. That's how they was raised. And I gotta still be there because their kind is not here. And I want to love them as if it was my mother, my father, my grandfather, my grandmother, or anything, because I can't not. So if I walk out, so if they constantly do that to everybody and everybody walks out, how do they spend the rest of their days? Because remember, their son, daughter, or somebody put them in that hospital, nursing home, or wherever I was, or home. I ran my own business too, so I've ran into a lot of things. I don't know. I wanna. I'm gonna post this out there, and I just want to see. My daughter actually works in this. I used to bring her to work with me, like so crazy. But my daughter actually does private duty nursing, and she deals with some stuff on a regular basis. She's dealt with a couple of things, and I think with her being younger and the way she's handled it is because the way I explained to her. Because these younger kids, they don't have a filter, but her heart is in it, so it's different. Um, but I don't know. My name is Reese. I will put my and change my things so you know who I am. I just happen to, when I read it, I just automatically put, and it asked me, did I want to go live? I think I named it The Hill or something. I can't even see what I named it right now. Um, but I will add in my other video. I was just rambling on one night about my back surgery. So it's like, I don't want to have multiple pages. I just, when I feel like talking about something, this is now my out. This is now my out. So, regardless of if I get a response or anything like that, this is so now my out. And I know there is people like me that just sit back and do this because they don't know where, like, where you talk. But I want to talk. I'll take both sides. I just want to be. Who says we'll ever be on the same page? I want to know what you mean. I want you to hear what I say, and just see if we could just like in the middle be like, oh wow, you was right, or oh wow, you was right, or oh wow, you was wrong, or now I understand that. I don't know. I want to go there. All right. This is Reese. I don't know what I'm gonna call this. I am not so computer savvy. We'll just say Reese all day. I don't know. That's probably not catchy or whatever, but I'm so real with it. It doesn't matter what it calls it. Yeah, you put question marks and it'll be me. So maybe that'll be it. Reese with question marks. Chime in and let me know. I don't know. I don't care. Like everybody's out here making money and doing all. I don't care. I don't care if I talk to 7 people a day. It's still 7 people that I didn't talk to. You see? So I don't know. This is a touchy situation and people, don't want to touch it. But I'm telling you, we're not gonna argue. I'm gonna tell you my background and the things I went through. And then you're gonna be like, no, yes, I did. And we can discuss some situation that you went through and whatever. And we'll try to figure out why in today in 2021. So before that we get to 2022, maybe all of us will have some type of friendly get together or something and just be like, wow, you know what? I was thinking wrong and I was thinking, something, whatever. Because I tell you, my skin color does not define my heart. And it's so big, it's crazy. It's like super big, as my granddaughter would say. It's super big, Mima. So I got I just want to talk. I just want to know. Okay. All right, I'm gonna end it now. And I'm not able to do that because it would be like 5 more minutes trying to figure out the button. But I'm able to do that because it says in stream. Okay. So I'm gonna do that and I'm gonna share it. And I don't know where this is gonna go, but I know I did a lot of rambling. I'm not doing a skit, I'm not doing any of that. I just let's talk about it because that just like I looked at it like, wow. But my people couldn't get that. So now you get to, oh, you got money for a lawyer. You got, yeah, I don't know. So anyway, Reese is out. We'll figure out that page name together. And we could just discuss topics. Maybe if we all started like talking to each other and getting on topics of the things that go on and see each other's point of view, maybe it won't make you do a but it might make you be like, oh, okay, I understand. All right. All right, guys. Thanks for listening.